What's going on, yo? Welcome back to basketball, and more importantly, welcome back to the Boston Celtics roster for some reason. No, today I've got a special thing in store. I did a series last season where I took a look at every single team and identified one person that I think could be a breakout player for this upcoming season, and I kind of want to do that again. I think it's a fun thing to take a look at this and be like, who do we think could really take a step up this next year? So this is going to be part one of a three-part series, because otherwise these videos get a little bit too long. So this is going to be part one, where we're going to be going over the Atlantic and Central divisions. But before we go and do that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. We've got a bunch of fun things going on in the channel right now in a relatively dead point in the season, where we're going through and ranking young players. We're making up our own statistics and stuff. We've got some film sessions that you can go back and watch. It's an interesting time, but appreciate it as always. Let's get into the video. Alrighty, so full transparency moment right here, right? I can be honest with you guys. This is a safe space. I think I can look you right in the camera right here and say, please let this be a safe. I didn't prep for this video at all. I decided I was going to do this 5 minutes ago, and so that's what we're doing. So I'm really just going to look through the roster and be like, who the hell do I think could be kind of a breakout player this year? And breakout could mean a lot of things, right? That could mean a player that was already pretty good. I think they're just going to take like a big leap or something like that. So Peyton Pritchard is immediately a guy that kind of comes to mind, where I go, wait a second, Al Horford isn't even like on this roster anymore. How up to date is this? It looks pretty up to date. Like, they've got like Amari Williams and like Hugo Gonzalez and stuff. They don't have like Chris Boucher on here, do they? The signing might not be official, but like Anthony Simons is on here, so we're just gonna hope that these are kind of up to date, because I want to use the team websites or whatever. But Peyton Pritchard's immediately somebody that I think, okay, this guy was already an awesome player last year, 6th man of the year type guy, right? With Drew Holiday being gone, Jason Tatum being out for the season, obviously Peyton Pritchard kind of enters into a much bigger role. Anthony Simons is on the team. I have to imagine Anthony Simons is going to stay on the Celtics, at least for like half the season. At the deadline, he very well could be a guy that gets moved so that they can duck the luxury tax, but why not use him for half the season? Because dude is an absolute bucket getter, and they need somebody to score the basketball right now, because you got Derek White, who's like more than capable of getting you some buckets, right? Simons will obviously be a guy that can get you 20 any night. Pritchard could get you 20 any night, and you obviously have Jaylen Brown, who will probably be your best player this season, but you're going to need some scoring, because the rest of the team is a little bit not so sure. So I look at a Peyton Pritchard, and I think that could be somebody, maybe a Jordan Walsh or something. Maybe he could have a bigger role as a guy that's been kind of riding the pine for a couple of years. He's an athletic forward, and I have to imagine like him or Baylor Shireman will get a little bit more burn this year. Maybe Minot. He's played more NBA minutes as of late. Josh Minot's a really interesting physical prospect. You just haven't seen him do much productive stuff on the basketball court yet. So I could maybe see him kind of falling into that. But I'm going to say I think Peyton Pritchard's going to just get a much bigger role this year, and we could see him scoring like upwards of like 20 points a game, which he already scored quite a few points a game. But I think Pritchard could easily fill that role. So that's who I'm going to go with there. I also have dunks and threes up just in case we want to take a look at anything. But let's move on to the Brooklyn Nets. What's going on? Oh, they're showing off all the rookies right here. Showing off all the rookies. It's interesting how different all of the websites are. This is going to be a tough one to pick. This one's going to be a really tough one to get. Look at Yegor right here, man. Look at all the young fellas they got on here. Michael Porter Jr., obviously probably the guy that could get the most shots this next year, and Cam Thomas, maybe the other one that kind of falls onto that list. Who could take a jump on this team? Because it's not going to be a rookie, right? Like, I can't say that it's going to be a rookie, but those are going to be who's playing up to this point. So Cam Thomas already kind of gets buckets, and I'm not sure you can give him a much bigger role than he already had when he was playing. Nick Claxton, I expect to more so get back to where he was. He was injured for a lot of the season last year, and he was kind of playing himself back into shape. At the end of the year, he started to look like himself again, so I'm not necessarily sure I'd say him. Once upon a time, I would have said Jalen Wilson, but I'm starting to maybe lose hope that he's going to get that chance to develop. I guess like there's really not a lot of options. I don't mind Tyrese Martin. I actually think he's kind of a solid player, and maybe he'll get a bigger role this next season. But I guess Michael Porter Jr., just out of the pure sense that he no longer plays next to a lot of really good basketball players, and he's going to get more shot attempts now. I can't imagine they're going to let him handle the ball or anything. Still, I think he's just going to be coming off screens, and I'm curious to see how that goes when people can key in on him a little bit more. But maybe if Cam Thomas has the ball, it doesn't matter because everyone has to watch Cam Thomas if he has the basketball on offense. So I don't know. I think it could be. I think it could be an interesting season for him. But I'm gonna hesitantly say Michael Porter Jr. Again, the Nets roster is rough, so leave me alone with that one. Leave me alone. Let's move on to the Knicks. I always just like to see what the Knicks got going on, or not the Knicks in general, but all these teams, what they got going on their websites, because I just never go on any of these. They've got AI on the Knicks website. Did you see that? It tried to talk to me. Okay. What do we got going on here? Damn, they didn't help my man Beauchamp for picture day. Look at this. Krakatoa right here. We got a whole volcano. Look, I went to a dermatologist yesterday. I got a little problem with my upper lip or whatever. Cool-ass doctor who was helping me out with it. Awesome guy. I'd never been to a dermatologist before. That's something that when you get a girl, they tell you that those things are important, and they are. So go to your dermatologist or whatever. Maybe they help you out with something like that. That's all I'm saying. Who could be a breakout guy for this team? I don't think Deuce McBride's going to necessarily get any more minutes. Jordan Clarkson, maybe he'll just have a more efficient basketball season than he's had in a while. I'm not sure I see Daddy A getting a lot of minutes yet. I think that's a ways down the road. Precious Achiuwa is not like signed by anybody. Yeah, he's a free agent right now. So thank you for indicating that, New York. Why even have him shown on the roster still then? Maybe because they still technically have like rights over him or something. That could be why. It's not going to be any of these guys. It could very well be a Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek's a player that I think is actually like very serviceable already. Like, he's not going to light up the world or anything. Obviously, he didn't play any rotational minutes last year, but when I watch him play, I just feel like he has a really good understanding of basketball, where to be. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. You leave him open for a shot, I feel like he's more than capable of hitting it. Again, not going to generate high-level offense, but just capable of being a very sturdy backup guard in this league. So maybe I see Tyler Kolek getting a few more minutes this season. Yabusele just being on a better team this year will probably help him, but I'm not sure he's going to get like any more counting stats than he was getting before. Cat obviously had a big jump this last season. I don't see Huck Porty getting more minutes. So give me Tyler Kolek. This is the first one that I'm really looking at, and I'm like, yeah, I could maybe see him finding his way into a rotational spot a little bit more, because Deuce doesn't need to play like a true like point guard, you know, off the bench. He can kind of play like either of those two. I see him more as like a combo guard type of guy. So I could see both of them kind of coming off the bench or whatever. And there's times where, look, Cameron Payne's cool and everything. I'm not sure he's going to be back on the Knicks, but I think I'd rather just have the sturdiness of Tyler Kolek over a Cameron Payne. When you have as good of a team as the Knicks have, I don't think you necessarily need like these spark pluggy type guys like Cameron Payne as much as I would just rather have the sturdiness of maybe a Tyler Kolek. And again, he would have to prove himself a little bit more on the basketball court for me to really say that that's what he is, but that's kind of where my hypothesis is right now. Yeah, when you've got this much talent on the team, I don't need a player like Cameron Payne, who, yes, he could take a lead and absolutely put it out of reach for someone, or he could kind of cost you some things. So that's just kind of my take on it for the time being, because I don't really see like a Beauchamp or something really taking a big step there. He's a free agent as well. So yeah, that's kind of my thought for the Knicks here. Okay, moving on to Philly. This should be an interesting one. Philly, what do you got on your website? I feel like we should just be rating websites more so than anything. No pictures or anything. They've got waving Ricky Council is the #1 thing on their website right now. They hit me with an ad right away too, some AI swag, so that's kind of fair. I feel like I gotta like downgrade you guys for I get on the website and the first thing you give me is bad news. I feel like that's bad marketing, so I'm downgrading you guys for that. It doesn't matter at all. I'm just trying to have some fun. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? So Tyrese Maxey, like, he's obviously already a pretty good NBA player. Quentin Grimes, the restricted free agency stuff is just taking forever because it's really complicated right now. So if he's back on the team, he could easily be one of those guys, but I don't know if he's going to get the touches that we saw at the back half of this season where everyone was like, damn, Quentin Grimes is good. We've been kind of seeing Where was I going with that thought? It completely lost me already. But Quentin Grimes was basically getting buckets at the end of last year. I'm not sure he's gonna get that again. Oh, I was gonna say we saw it with the Knicks or whatever. He was really getting buckets with the Knicks, and then he had some injuries or whatever, and he really started to kind of show that stuff again at the end of last season. So maybe he gets that. I don't know. Paul George, Justin Edwards is maybe a guy to watch. Is a guy that got some back end of the bench minutes or whatever, like back end of the rotational bench minutes last year. Wasn't like the most efficient in the world, but was pretty serviceable at points. For those of you that don't remember, he was like the #1 player in his high school class, I believe, at least at like one point. Didn't have the greatest college career, kind of like went under the radar in terms of like draft and everything, and he seems to be showing out, at least after his rookie season, a little bit better than some of the other rookies did. So maybe he starts to show a little bit more again this year as he continues to develop. I could see him being a very serviceable role player for them this year. Jared McCain, he was really good in the couple minutes that he was getting last year, and it was a very short run, but maybe it works out for Jared McCain and he bursts onto the scenes a little bit more. Not positive about that. I'm not sure, like, Bona might get more minutes than he did last year. We'll have to see what kind of shape Andre Drummond comes in to the season with, but I'm gonna say it's either Q Grimes or Justin Edwards. Quentin Grimes, man, he could get buckets if he need to. I was at a Timberwolves Sixers game this last year where he was just getting buckets on Minnesota. There was some like annoying ass like white people behind me that were just like, who is this guy? Like, they should guard him better. Like, don't let him shoot. I hate when people scream stuff like that at basketball games. Like, don't let him score. Shut the fuck up. You don't think they trying? You don't think they like? People don't like getting buckets given to them. They really don't. They're trying out there. Like, shut the fuck up. Annoying ass old lady or whatever. But it's whatever. It's weird Minnesotan people. But anyway, yeah, let's go with Quentin Grimes or Justin Edwards. That's kind of what I'm going to say for these ones. Moving on to the Toronto Raptors. There should be a lot of good options for this one. Raptors signs Sar. That's what we starting off with, huh? That's the most interesting thing going on. I feel like this image or something would have been a better one to start off with, but you know, it's whatever, is what it is. Anything else interesting going on here? Solid website overall. Like the team colors and stuff, this like red to purple is kind of sick. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie at all. Raptors, not always sure what your team is doing, but you got some cool branding going on. I'll give it to you. Let's take a look at this roster. Who are we expecting to see a little bit of a jump for? Grady Dick is one, just because we've seen some cool stuff out of Grady Dick up to this point. I kind of want to pull up his numbers in particular. Don't mind me typing that out right there. But let's just take a look at Grady Dick's numbers this last year. So kind of about league average now from 3, which is good, right? That's what we want, is for him to be slowly climbing up. Obviously dropped a little bit this last season, but maybe some more spacing, some better teammates around him this next year, just because that team was so in flux, right? Maybe we start to see a little bit more from 3. The rim percentage is tough, right? That's something where we got to see better from him. He's got to actually get to the free throw line a little bit more. He's got to finish around the rim because he's not that good at it defensively. He just has to be better, right? But Grady Dick's one that you could maybe see it there because you can see the talent, right? You can see the talent. Mogbo's maybe another one if he can find a clear role on the court, because he does a lot of like little things, right? He does a lot of the little things that are really interesting. Like he's always pushing the ball up the court. He's always crashing at the right moment. Sometimes you see him swiping and get a cool steal at the right time. I'm not really sure what he does for you offensively outside of being a connector at points, but he's a really interesting player that I still don't know how I feel about him completely. But I know, like, if you were to ask like a Raptors fan, they'll tell you, because look, there's just a lot of delusional fans out there that are like, if you see every young player that, like, I saw dunk during this last season has a future in the NBA because I didn't watch, like, any high-level basketball growing up. Yeah, I understand. I get you like all of your young players and you think all of them are going to be good. I hope he is. I'm just not so sure, because there's not, like, another player like Mogbo in the NBA, so I don't really have much to compare him to. Quickly and Barrett will be back this next year. That's cool. I'm not sure I see a jump from Jacoby Walter necessarily. Kromke, no. Maybe Sheed. Sheed. I can't remember exactly how you say it, but I could maybe see something from him as like a backup point guard. I know he wasn't the most efficient this last year. He's a rookie. It's not a big deal. I could maybe see him like straightening himself out and being like a very serviceable backup guard, so I could see that one Not sure I see that out of Akbaji necessarily. Jameson Battle, probably not. So we're going to say it's either going to be Shed Sheet. Like I said, I don't remember how to say his name, or maybe Grady Dick. That's probably where I'm going to go for things. What would be a good goal for Grady Dick? Because, like, this doesn't have points per game on it necessarily. We just need efficiency, right? We just need efficiency more so than anything else, and some serviceable defense. That's probably what we're asking for out of Grady Dick this year, because then he could be really valuable to the team, right? Because he's probably coming off the bench. Quickly, Barrett, Ingram, Barnes, Pirtle, yeah, he's the next obvious guy off the bench, so he's gonna have to be a player for them. So that's Toronto, and that's the Atlantic Division. Let's move on over to the Central, where my Chicago Bulls lie. I have no idea what I'm gonna do here. Ooh, okay, see, this is a way to start off the website. Yes, I'm a Bulls fan, but trust me, I'll be the first to criticize them as well. I feel like they announce the pinstripe jerseys like every season. I don't know, because the Bulls are like the one team that like haven't changed like their like logo like ever or whatever, which is fine. It's a cool logo and everything. The pinstripe jerseys are sick. They're very cool. I like them a lot. It's interesting that it's just Kobe White and Booz Ellis on here, because they're like, look, who else do you want us to advertise on this team? We might cut Vucevic. Giddy hates us right now. It's a whole thing. So let's go look. There's an ambulance going by, but we're gonna ignore that. I don't even know who this is. Wooga Poplar? No clue. You got me there, but I think he's going to be great this year. Who's going to be a breakout guy? I think Kobe White's probably hit somewhat of an apex, so I'm not sure that's him. Giddy, you started to see some things if he's going to even be on the roster this next year. He's going to have a full season to kind of show stuff, but I'm not sure you're ever going to get like 22 points per game Josh Giddy or something like that. I'm just not sure that's realistic to expect out of him. Dalen Terry, is he going to get a better role going forward? I don't know. I liked that him and Jalen Smith switched numbers. I thought that was cool. I thought that made a lot of sense. That's just a very small thing, but I wanted to point it out. Dalen Terry, like, he's one of those examples where teams draft guys and then ask them to do something completely different than what they were good at. Dalen Terry in college was a ball handling wing that had like incredible like passing vision, and he doesn't get to have the basketball at all in the NBA. And it's just like, why the hell do you do this? You had a team full of guards that you were like trying to work. It's just stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. So people wonder why their prospects don't work out. Maybe Desumu has a bounce back year or something. I guess Booz Ellis is the obvious one, right? He was a fun rookie to watch this last year. He's got a lot of flaws still, but I mean, he's a rookie, so there's a lot to make up for as well. He's in his second year, hopefully a little bit more confident. He'll have a bigger role on the team now that Levine's not there, and maybe Vucevic isn't there as well. We're not positive about that, but I guess we'll see. Phillips, I'm not sure I see his game expanding too much more. Horton Tucker's a free agent. I really like Jalen Smith. Trey Jones, I could maybe see that becoming a thing where he has a bigger role, but if something happens with Giddy, I know there's like the Jonathan Kuminga, Josh Giddy rumors. I can't imagine that actually transpires that way. That would be nuts. If that happened, that would be absolutely nuts. And I'm not even going to get into it because I don't want to perpetuate anything, but I guess we'll see. Jalen Smith, maybe I could see him having a bigger role this next year. Isaac Okoro, I forgot he's on the fucking team, honestly. I'm not sure I see him having that big of a role either, though. Would I love to say Patrick Williams finally becomes baby Kawhi Leonard? Sure. Do I see it happening, though? No, I don't. So we're just going to keep it simple and go with Booz Ellis on this one. Had to make a cut there because people were messaging me on Microsoft Teams. You boys still got to run a company at the end of the day. Moving on to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's take a look at their website. Evan Mobley's best defensive plays of the season. That's a great way to start things out. Show some highlights. Get us excited for the start of the season. More Mobley stuff. Why not? A Cavaliers off-season quiz. See, this is engaging stuff. Good stuff, Cleveland. We like this. They obviously don't have a ton of moves going on, so that's fair. What do we think of the Cavaliers like jerseys and stuff like that? Not gonna lie, think they're kind of weak. But that's just me. I have no sense of style whatsoever. So you guys tell me. I like the colors a lot. Like this page looks kind of sick. This looks kind of cool. So let's see. Lonzo Ball bounce back season. I could totally see that because the team around him is like perfect. He's got all these guys that are like, I would be happy to shoot the ball or get a nice alley-oop from you. And he's like, okay, I can make that happen. I can run, play some defense. He plays kind of that unique guard role that they don't have of like the bigger connector guard. So I like that. Evan Mobley could maybe take another jump, but I think that's hard when you have a Darius Garland and a Donovan Mitchell on your team already who are going to score like 25-ish points a game. There's just only so many shots to go around in a basketball game, but maybe Mobley just continues to get even more efficient, because why not? So maybe him, Craig Porter, maybe if he gets like some more minutes this year, but no, Lonzo's on the team. So if Lonzo goes down, I could maybe see Craig Porter doing it. I've just liked the little bit I've seen of him at times. He's still on the team, I believe. DeAndre Hunter, again, there's only so many shots to go around there. Jalen Tyson, I'm not sure I actually see him getting like big time rotational minutes or anything. Larry Nance maybe pops back onto the scene a little bit more. Otherwise, like, I don't know. So I feel like this is just a Lonzo Ball bounce back more than anything else. Like, there's not like some young players being developed on this team that are really going to get like a ton of burn. Like I said, Jalen Tyson was the rookie last year, but I'm just not sure I see him getting on the court as of right now. There feels like between like Hunter and maybe like Merrill, Strus, guys like that, there's just going to be other people. I think they're going to play a lot of multiple guard lineups anyway, so you're really going to only need like one forward out there at a time. So I don't know, maybe it's Tyson though, but can we just say bounce back Lonzo Ball season rather than anything else? This is kind of a tough one otherwise, because I'm not sure I see it out of Dean Wade or anything like that. So I guess we'll just go bounce back Lonzo Ball, big kind of not breakout year, but comeback year is what we'll say. We're changing the point of this video now because I can do whatever I want. It's my YouTube channel. Moving on to the Detroit Pistons. Okay, welcome back, Detroit. There's a lot going on in this website right now. Okay, a lot of different things going on. Cool. We got preseason schedule here, press release. Got you. We got some summer camps. Nothing like too crazy. What is this? I don't understand what this is. Oh, this is the WNBA stuff. Oh, I didn't see until I saw the logo. Who's the WNBA logo? Leave that in the comments below, because I actually don't know, and I don't feel like looking it up right now. But let's go over to the roster. Who are we talking about here? Who's going to have a breakout year? Jalen Duren could be one, and, start to clean up some more of the defensive stuff. He took a big jump this last year, and just how serviceable he was, I will continue to say. I'm very narcissistic in the way that I think about certain things related to basketball, and I think I could take a lot of people in a fight just because your boy grew up scrapping, and that's just how we do. Jalen Duren is a guy I would never fight. Your boy knows his limits. That guy just seems like he could kill anybody. So, not fighting Jalen Duren ever. Cade Cunningham, maybe he just continues to elevate himself, so he's a guy as well. Malik Beasley might elevate himself into a jail cell. We'll see. I'm sorry. He's innocent until proven guilty. Ron Holland, I think it's going to take a while still before we see like a jump out of Ron Holland. Asar Thompson, Maybe we see some more ball handling skills out of him. His brother's more of like the ball handler passer type, whereas Asar is more of the off ball guy. They can both do a little bit of it, but that's how I've kind of always seen them. As I do see them as pretty different in a lot of ways, even though they look the same and they've got a lot of the same like athleticism and finishing abilities. But Asar Thompson, totally could see that being the case. Not sure he's going to have the role to do so, because they replaced like Schroeder with like Karis LeVert. So, and he's going to want the ball more than like Beasley would have. So, and Jaden Ivey's going to be back. Jaden Ivey 100% could be that guy. We started to see a bit of a breakout this last year, and he's going to have the same opportunity to go out and get shots this season. No Tim Hardaway Jr., right? No Malik Beasley. Karis LeVert comes in. He's instantly going to take up some of those points per game and shot opportunities and ball handling opportunities. I could see, I still like Marcus Sasser's game a lot. I think he's really interesting. I'd like to see him get on the court a little bit more. I feel like there's a developmental pathway there. I'm going to say probably Jaden Ivey more so than anything else, just because we've seen some of it already. Again, wasn't the most efficient time. We should pull up Jaden Ivey just to take a look at it more so than anything. So taking a look at actual, so he actually did get to the 40% 3-point this last year. I didn't even think it got that high, but at the rim and the mid-range stuff, like I'm not as worried about the mid-range or whatever. Just got to get better at the rim, which is not uncommon for young guards. It's just something you got to get bigger, stronger, know how to take contact, learn to play off 2 feet sometimes. But overall, there's a lot to like here, and we could We could see probably the same usage and just be a little bit more efficient, and you'd have a really strong basketball player. So I'm gonna go Jaden Ivey for the Pistons. I think that would be a good one. Let's move on to the Pacers. The Pacers. Okay, you're hitting me with an ad right away. We pick the winner, you pick the games. Enter the 10-game sweepstakes. I'm gonna pass. They've got an AI bot as well. They're hitting me with that. Don't like the way this stuff is formatted on here, but is what it is. We've signed some two-way players. That's fine. Some summer league rewind. Like, they're not posting, man. They're not posting anything. 14 days ago, like, some of these guys are posting like the Cavs are posting like, hey, play this game with us. Do all this. Not liking it. Not liking it. All you're trying to do is sell me tickets, but y'all ain't got nothing. You guys ain't done nothing in like 3 weeks. So why am I buying tickets? I have questions, Indiana. Let's go take a look at the roster. Tyrese Halliburton, obviously out for the year. Benedict Mathurin, probably a starter this next season, right? Easily could be a guy that could go get you 20 points in a night. How efficient's it going to be? Well, that'd be the main question, right? But Ben Matherin's one that sticks out really obviously. Andrew Nembhard as well, finally started to put together some efficient basketball in the playoffs. Already an elite defender in the NBA, but we started to see some of the scoring stuff come together. He became a better decision maker. Going to be the lead guard this season, so I could totally see Andrew Nembhard coming in and being that guy for some people. Who else could come in here? Jarris Walker, I'm not sure I see that necessarily. Johnny Furphy, I could see him finding a way to get some minutes, especially after that dunk in the Summer League, because Summer League matters so much. But I do actually like Johnny Furphy's game. I thought he fell a bit too much in that draft class. Sizable wing, can maybe do a little bit of everything, like solid athlete. He's shown he can be able to shoot a little bit, like in other levels of play or whatever. Obviously very young, but I just like to see him get on the court a little bit more. He's probably fighting with a Ben Shepherd for minutes. Let's see, James Wiseman, man, if he's at all healthy, this is probably the one place where it could work for him, so I'd love to see it. Not sure I see it out of Neesmith or Ben Shepherd. Jay Huff could be another guy to watch here. He could get a lot of burn, and we've all seen that he has a lot of skill, whether it's stepping out and hitting. He's a pretty big body, solid passer. We all see the reverse dunks that he loves to do. But I could see Jay Huff being it, but I feel like it has to be like Ben Mathurin, right? Just because there's going to need to be some scoring replacement or whatever. It very well could be Nembhard as well, just because, look, Tyrese going out, your best player kind of going out, is a big difference. So I'm going to say it's probably Ben Mathurin, if not Nembhard. But some other interesting ones to watch in Furphy, potentially Wiseman if he's healthy, and Jay Huff. So yeah, some new people here for Indiana. Finally, for this video, the Milwaukee Bucks. They're going to need a breakout star, aren't they? Who do we got on here? Ooh, cool website. Okay, Milwaukee, that was sick. I like it. Milwaukee Bucks unveil new Bucks Health and Wellness Clinic. Okay, don't care about that, but look at this. They got highlights. They got videos, press, articles. See this? This is a website. This is what I'm talking about, y'all. We do look at this little newsletter graphic. I've used this exact same graphic for like my newsletter and my company. That's so interesting. I have to do a lot of visual design and UI stuff with my company. Small business things. What are you gonna do? All right, let's look at the roster, or let's take a look at the roster. Kevin Porter Jr. easily could be one of those. One of the more talented people in the NBA, just kind of has to bring things together. Did they bring in Marcus Sears? That's cool. I hope Marcus Sears can stick around in the NBA. I think he's got potential to do so. I don't think it's going to be a Bobby Portis necessarily. Kevin Porter, though, like offensively, he could do so much for this team if they can tap into it. Maybe Ryan Rollins continues to show a little bit of what we saw this last year, now kind of on more of a full-term contract. So I could totally see him falling into that. Kyle Kuzma, maybe. Can we put out the hope that Kyle Kuzma can figure out how to score 20-ish a game? Is that too ambitious? Maybe I should say like 16, like a quality 16 points a game. If we could get that, maybe we're somewhat back in business. Somewhat back in business. Tyler Smith, a guy that I want to watch because I really like the talent behind him. I really do. I think he's kind of an interesting forward that can do a bit of everything, that could do a bit of everything. Doing it at like the G League Ignite versus the Milwaukee Bucks is a big difference, but I like his potential. Cole Anthony's obviously going to have a huge role in this team, so that could be him. Miles Turner, I still really like Andre Jackson Jr. I don't think he's ever going to be like more than a 10-point-a-game scorer, honestly, but I think he can be a very, very good player, and I think they criminally don't play him enough on this team at times. But, I don't always agree with a lot of things Doc Rivers does. So who are we saying? Kevin Porter Jr. feels like the really obvious pick. Ryan Rollins, another interesting one. Kuzma's more so of a joke that I'm making. Tyler Smith probably less likely, and Andre Jackson Jr. probably less likely. So let's just keep it simple with Kevin Porter Jr. He's going to be expected to do a lot on this team, and this is going to be his chance to show something in the NBA. So hopefully he can use that. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I don't want to do like an hour-long one thing, so I'm going to give you guys like 3 parts of this series, and I think that that's going to be a better way to do it. Also, I need to stretch my content out. I do want to let you guys know that September 1st is when we're going to get back to regular uploads, and we will be doing a season preview series where we're going to do like a whole thing every single day. A team, like one team is going to get a designated video made for them, kind of talking about what the season's going to look like, expectations for them, maybe some potential trade ideas, things like that, how to kind of round out the roster and stuff. So September 1st is when we kind of get back into basketball mindset officially. But yeah, I appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. Let's move on to the comment of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Comment of the video is coming from our top 25 players under 25 2025 video. Whenever I post videos like this, and by the way, I'm going to do a top 25 NBA players right now, you get some of the dumbest comments on here. Like, y'all need to take a debate class or something like that, because y'all don't know how to actually like stay on topic and like have conversations. And it's such a nonsense video. It's just like a nonsense ranking, but people like really like care about it for some reason. So a lot of really goofy comments on there. But the comment to the video is coming from Sideline Steve, who said, so funny with the Jalen Johnson part, because as soon as I saw he's 23, I thought he was older. In the video, I said the same thing. I'm like, how is he only 23 years old? It feels like he's been around for forever. So I don't know why he does that to people. Why does he feel older? Also, love all the people that were just like, where are they? Oh yeah, like this one. Furphy, Giddy, and Daniels top 3 is an interesting choice that I don't hate. Just completely trying to throw off people in the comments. Where were some of the other ones? I think they were towards the top or something. Wow, Zeke Naji at number 1 is certainly a bold choice. Respect it. Yeah, bold choice putting Hanson Yang at number 1, but glad to see you give him his flowers. Yeah, I found those really funny or whatever. And I did update my list here because I totally forgot to put Jalen Suggs and Darius Garland on there. They would have been on the list, but yeah, is what it is. So I appreciate you guys as always. If you want to go join the Discord, link is in the description here. We'd love to have you guys, so you have a place to kind of talk some basketball right now. But anyway, I appreciate it, and we'll talk later. Thanks so much.